Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the liberal loudmouth. So James Carville's out there flapping his suckhole again, and I just wanted to do a video because he's right, but he's also wrong at the same time, and I'd like to go over what he's right and what he's wrong about. Let's take a listen here. Take it away, old Carville.
All of this is the most tragic figure in American politics in my lifetime is President Biden. All right, so he said, "I never pardoned a kid." Okay, I don't believe it. When anybody says I never had sex with that person, I never pardoned my kid, I don't pay any attention to it because I think everybody lies about sex and everybody is going to do whatever they're going to do with their own children. But the different scenario.
I mean, okay. So I want to point out that with sex, yes, I agree. Like Bill Clinton, of course the guy lied about it. I mean, of course he did. I mean, we're talking about his whole family. He's going to deny, deny, deny. I mean, we've heard the song, it wasn't me. Caught me banging on the sofa. It wasn't me. You got to deny, deny, deny. So I get that. But pardoning his son, no, that's not something you lie about. He chose to say he wasn't going to pardon his son. He could have said nothing. He could have said nothing and just did it. He didn't need to tell everybody, I'm not going to do this. He didn't need to do that. He chose to do that. So when he did it, it did make him look bad, and there was no reason for it. Anyway, small issue that I take with what he said, but let's go.
If he would have in September of 2023 or August said that he wasn't going to run, God damn, we would have won this election. And it wouldn't have been that close because we'd have had so many freaking talented people that were running. And he would be sitting here right now, getting ready to leave on a high note. There would be naming commissions to figure out what we're going to name after him. He would be the toast of Washington. There would be a Democratic inauguration coming up. Then a new Democratic president could have sort of gotten away with commuting any sentence that Hunter Biden got. And it would have been minimal. There'd have been some pushback, but, in the interest of the Biden family and President Biden's long and distinguished service to the community, I'm going to commute the sentence. You wouldn't even had to have pardoned it. It's tragic. What's so sad, it didn't have to be this way. He brought it all on himself. And I know the people around him, whether his beck and call or the employees, the consultants, his wife, who, according to press reports, unsurprisingly, really took on his side. I understand all of that. But at the bottom of this, Joe Biden is and will continue to be the most tragic figure in modern American politics. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Now, with the last statement that he made, I completely agree. He will be an example of tragic, American politics, really. But where I disagree with him is that it being Biden's fault. Biden didn't drop out. He should have dropped out earlier, and we wouldn't have been here. Blah 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 blah. I mean, that's easy to say after the fact, but I would argue that he is both right and wrong, because Joe Biden should never have been president. Joe Biden should never have had the Democratic National Committee just coalesce around this guy, shove everybody out, co-opt the media to shit on all of the other successful candidates, namely Bernie Sanders, and pushed all of them out in order to force Joe Biden on us. We didn't want him. We were calling out his issues back in 2020. I was. I know a lot of other people were as well. Like, dude, he looks old. He sounds old. He has a stuttering issue, and whether that's his fault or not, it is not going to look good, and we didn't want him to run before for all of the reasons that people this year wanted him to leave over. We were calling this out in 2020. Matter of fact, in a previous video that I did, I put up a Facebook post that I made in 2020 where I said Joe Biden winning is going to cause us problems in 2024. Now, granted, I thought he was going to maintain his neoliberal ways, his pro-corporation ways, which he had been over the course of his political lifetime, and then he turned out to be more progressive. And I think as a result of him becoming an actual progressive, the neoliberal Democratic establishment pushed him out. So the blame is actually on the DNC, not Joe Biden. Of course Joe Biden would want to run again. He's the fucking incumbent president. I mean, how many incumbent presidents do you know that still can think and move around and talk and walk? Say, well, no, you know what? I'm just not going to run again. Of course he's a human. Okay, and maybe there's some pride in there, but of course he was going to run again. We wouldn't have been put in this fucking position had the Democratic Party not forced him on us in 2020. So with that, I disagree completely with Carville that it was Biden's fault. It wasn't Biden's fault. It was the Democratic Party's fault for doing what they did. Not only that, it was the Democratic Party's fault for forcing Kamala on everybody through a political coup. That made the Democratic Party look so bad. That may be more tragic than the presidency of Joe Biden. Joe Biden will end up being a Jimmy Carter, essentially, where he is highly respected in the future. His record is looked back on in a better light than it was at the time, because Joe Biden did a lot of really good things for this country, things that no doubt Donald Trump is going to take credit for. He's going to take credit for, because a lot of the things that Joe Biden did, we won't see play out completely for another 10 years or so. And, of course, Donald Trump is going to take credit for that. But again, this is why we've been shitting all over the Democratic Party for so many years now, really before 2016, but it kind of came to a head in 2016 when it became so obvious that they would rig their own primary in order to favor the candidate that they wanted to force down your throat, and it bit them in the ass. And then they did it in 2020 again. It almost bit us in the ass. Technically, I would say it did bite us in the ass, because we lost in 2024. Despite having done really good things over the last 4 years of Biden's presidency. So, yeah, to the Democratic Party, this is on you. This is on you. This loss is completely on you. This is not Biden's fault. People blaming Biden for this are ignorant of the facts. They have short-term memory loss. They don't realize what Democratic Party is willing to do to keep their power structure in place. They will do anything. They'll rig primaries. They'll political coup somebody. They'll post resignation letters, because I still don't believe that Joe Biden actually posted that. I don't think he did. And if he did, it wasn't because he wanted to. It was because they basically forced him out. They probably threatened him with helping elect Donald Trump to keep him from being elected again. Anyway, that's my take. Please tell me what you think. You think James Carville's right, or do you think I make some valid points here about Joe Biden should not have been the president in 2020? I just don't. I still, to this day, don't think he should have been. And like I said back in 2020, it's going to cause us problems in 2024. And here we are. All right, let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the next video. This is the Liberal Loudmouth. Peace.